Before today's video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest videos. If you want to see a case or topic covered by Paranormally Listed, then go to criminallylisted.com and fill out the questionnaire under the Suggest a Case tab. Number 3. Megan Mullally. Megan Mullally is known for her sharp comedic talent and playing an array of kooky characters. For 11 seasons, she played the squeaky voice Karen Walker on the show Will and Grace. Mullally was nominated for 8 Emmys for her work on the show, and she won twice. Outside of Will and Grace, Mullally has over 100 film and television credits to her name. One notable role is Tammy Swanson II on the sitcom Parks and Recreation. Tammy is the eccentric ex-wife of Parks director Ron Swanson, played by Mullally's real-life husband, Nick Offerman. Mullally and Offerman have been married for over 20 years. But that's not Mullally's only unique Hollywood connection. She claims she connected with someone from beyond the grave. That person was Nicole Brown Simpson, ex-wife of professional football player and actor O.J. Simpson. Brown and Simpson were married for 7 years. They divorced in 1992. On June 12, 1994, Brown and her friend, 27-year-old Ron Goldman, were murdered at her Los Angeles home. Simpson was the only suspect, and he was charged with the murders. The Simpson murder case was one of the most famous events of the 1990s. News outlets relentlessly covered the case. Many people around the world were shocked when, despite overwhelming evidence, Simpson was acquitted of all charges in 1995. Now feeling that justice was served, Brown's family successfully sued Simpson for wrongful death in 1997. It appears that Brown has not rested in peace since her brutal murder. A few decades after the murders, Mullally and Offerman rented a home on a property where Nicole Brown Simpson lived. In a 2018 interview, Mullally explains, quote, "It wasn't the same house, but it was on the same property where had once stood a house that O.J. Simpson had rented for Nicole Brown Simpson," unquote. Mullally claimed that Brown would make her presence known. She heard weird noises in the house, and she believed it was the deceased woman's spirit. She went on to say, quote, "We would have it in that house, in one corner of the house, like maybe where the bedroom used to be in the old house. We would have all these sounds and weird things all the time. I would be like, that's Nicole and she's pissed because Nick doesn't get it," unquote. Mullally claimed that the spirit settled after Offerman watched American Crime Story, the miniseries based on the murder case. After that, Offerman finally understood the severity of the situation. Mullally said, quote, "Ever since then, no more sounds. She just needed Nick to understand what happened," unquote. The couple no longer lives in that house. Number 2. Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek is one of Mexico's biggest crossover stars. She's been known for her work as an actress, director, and producer for over 30 years. Hayek's acting career began with roles in Mexican telenovelas in the late 80s and early 90s. In the mid-1990s, Hayek transitioned to Hollywood with her breakout role in the 1995 action film Desperado. Her star continued to rise in the new millennium as she starred in major blockbuster films such as Wild Wild West and Dogma. One of her most critically acclaimed performances was playing the famed Mexican painter Frida Kahlo in the 2002 biopic Frida. The role earned her a Best Actress nomination in 2003. Over the next 2 decades, Hayek continued to be a force in the entertainment industry, both in front of and behind the camera. In 2023, Time magazine named her one of their 100 most influential people. Hayek may also be a magnet for the supernatural. During a November 2021 interview with Ellen DeGeneres, Hayek discussed strange occurrences at her home in London, England. She said, quote, "I didn't see this, but some bodyguards didn't want to work there anymore because the piano played by itself. Lights would go on and off. The doors and the windows open and close. I've seen some of it. A lot of other people in the house have seen it," unquote. The 57-year-old actress told DeGeneres that one of her bodyguards refused to go to the third floor because of the unexplained phenomenon. Hayek's teenage daughter, Valentina, was there during the interview. She said she, quote, "gets it the worst," unquote. Valentina claimed that she saw the face of a ghost on more than one occasion. While Hayek wasn't overly worried about her supernatural guests, she did bring in an expert to help clear the spirits. Whether or not the medium was able to get rid of the spirits, she believed at least doing something would ease the minds of her staff. Hayek said that the medium sensed 20 ghosts haunted the home. This only made things worse for the staff. They had no idea there were so many ghosts in the home. The medium cast out all but 2 ghosts. Hayek talked about one of the ghosts that remained. Hayek said, quote, "She's a nun. You know what I found her doing? She was praying," unquote. Hayek explained that the medium refused to get rid of that ghost. The medium said that the spirit had been there longer than Hayek, and she was a good spirit. However, Valentina believes that more than 2 ghosts remain in the home. Number 1. Patrick Stewart. Sir Patrick Stewart is one of the most universally regarded actors of the modern era, with unparalleled career longevity and relevance. The 84-year-old actor has been the star of stage and screen, working steadily for almost 65 years. Stewart started his career as a stage actor in England, debuting with the Bristol Old Vic Company in 1959. In 1966, Stewart joined the Royal Shakespeare Company. He performed with them until 1982. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, Stewart occasionally worked in British television. He had minor roles in mainstream American films such as Excalibur in 1981 and David Lynch's adaptation of Dune in 1984. Stewart's breakout role came in 1987 when he was cast as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek: The Next Generation. The show, a popular television sequel to the 1960s show, ran for 7 seasons. After the show ended in 1994, Stewart continued portraying Picard in subsequent Star Trek films, such as Star Trek Generations in 1994, Star Trek First Contact in 1996, Star Trek Insurrection in 1998, and Star Trek Nemesis in 2002. Almost 20 years later, Stewart reprised the Jean-Luc Picard role in the television series Star Trek Picard, which debuted in 2020. While earning critical acclaim for the role, Stewart was also cast in another iconic role that has defined his career, Professor Charles Xavier in the X-Men series. The first X-Men movie was released in 2000 and was a huge financial success, grossing almost $300 million worldwide. Not only did the film spawn 2 successful sequels in 2003 and 2006, and a series of prequels, but is also partially responsible for the resurgence of comic book movies that still dominate Hollywood. Stewart has reprised the role of Professor Xavier multiple times over the past 2 decades. Over his long career, Stewart has received numerous awards and accolades. Perhaps the biggest was being knighted in 2010. Stewart is known for his roles in other worldly adventures. He's also experienced multiple paranormal experiences in his personal life ever since he was a child. When Stewart was talking to a reporter with USA Today, he said, quote, "I've been witnessing stuff since I was 12 years old. It has stayed with me throughout my life. I have sometimes quite intense feelings and nighttime experiences, and occasionally I witness things. It happens to me and I'm not inventing it. Why would I invent it? Because I always feel slightly foolish when I talk about this," unquote. Stewart occasionally stayed at the home of his first influential drama teacher, Ruth Wynne Owen. Owen had 2 paintings of 17th century women. According to Stewart, one night, One of the paintings was surrounded by unexplainable mist, and the other had a spooky glow. Stewart wrote in his 2023 memoir, quote, "This scared me, fundamentally," unquote. He hid under the covers until morning. His teacher, Ruth Wynne Owen, explained that a young girl's spirit followed her to the house. The specter would appear before her, smile, and then disappear. In 1977, Stewart experienced another supernatural encounter, this one more personal. Stewart attended his mother's funeral, and he had a few minutes where he was alone with the body. Stewart swore that while he was alone with the body, he heard the voice of his recently departed mother. Stewart wrote, quote, "Just before my eyes fixed on her face, I heard her say, 'Oh, hello, Patrick, love. I know I heard it. I did not imagine it,'" unquote. In 2009, Stewart was performing Waiting for Godot with his friend, Sir Ian McKellen, when he saw a ghost at the Theatre Royal Haymarket. He believed he saw the spirit of John Baldwin Buckstone, a 19th century actor and stage manager. Stewart's supernatural encounters followed him to the United States. When filming the second season of Picard, Stewart bought a home in Los Angeles, California, where he noticed strange occurrences. Upon returning home one day, Stewart noticed an overwhelming roasting smell coming from the oven. But when he checked the oven, it was cold and empty. Another time, Stewart's adult son, Daniel, was staying at his home. One night, Daniel was home alone. When he returned home, he found Daniel clearly shaken and books on the floor. Stewart's memoir reads, quote, "Dan told me he had been watching TV when the books suddenly flew across the room as if they were thrown with great force. The incident scared him so badly that he left the house and only returned when he knew I would soon be home," unquote. Unexplained happenings continued in the house. Near the stairs, he heard voices and footsteps, and he would feel sudden drops in temperature. He wrote, quote, "I had the urge to look over my shoulder, but I never dared," unquote. Stewart eventually rented out the house, not telling the tenants that it might be haunted. One of the tenants called Stewart and told him about a shadowy figure they had seen in the house. Stewart then told them about the paranormal guests. Stewart said, quote, "In a way, that was a comfort that their family saw things, and they saw more than I saw," unquote. Eventually, the renters ordered the spirits to leave their home, which seemed to help. Stewart ended up selling the home. There's no reports that the new owners have experienced any paranormal activity in the home. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. If you did find it interesting, please make sure you subscribe. We'll have a new video about the paranormal every week. If you just discovered this channel, please make sure you check out our other channel, Criminally Listed. We have over 325 videos featuring bizarre but true crime stories. You can find it at youtube.com/criminallylisted. We also have a podcast about cold cases that were eventually solved called Criminally Listed Presents Into the Killing. You can find it on Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you find great podcasts. But that's all for today. Thanks again for watching.